OpenAI just dropped something completely new. And this time, it's not another chatbot. It's called GPT-OSS-Safeguard. And trust me, this one is different. In this video, I will break down exactly what it is, how it works, why OpenAI built it, and how you can actually use it in your own projects from social platforms to AI chatbots. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so let's first understand what exactly is GPT-OSS-Safeguard. Well, it's not a chatbot, it's a reasoning model. Now you might ask, reasoning model, what does that mean? Well, unlike normal AI models that just give you direct answers or generate text, this one is trained to think logically and analyze information step by step. Its main job is to read, understand, and judge content according to your rules. Let's say you have a policy, like what's allowed on your platform or what kind of messages should be blocked. You literally feed that policy to this model and then give it any piece of content like a message, a comment, even the full conversation, and it will reason through your policy line by line to decide whether that content violates your rules or not. So instead of hard coding a moderation system or using a fixed rule book, GPT-OSS-Safeguard lets you bring your own policy. You can say, "Hey AI, these are my rules. Now check this message, does it break them or not?" And the model will explain its answer like, yes, this violates section 2 because it contains hateful language, or no, this is fine according to your definition. That's what makes it powerful. It doesn't just say yes or no, it tells you why. This kind of transparency is a game changer for anyone working on moderation, complaints, or safety systems. Now here is the interesting part. OpenAI did release just one version. There are two models in this family. GPT-OSS-Safeguard 20 billion, which has around 20 billion parameters. It's smaller, faster, and great if you want to run it locally or on lighter servers. Then there is the GPT-OSS-Safeguard 120 billion. This one is the big brain. It's designed for deep reasoning, large-scale moderation systems, or platforms that handle tons of data every second. If you need top accuracy and detailed explanations, this is the one you would go for. And here is a tip. If you are just starting out, always experiment with the 20 billion version first. It's easier to run, less costly, and gives you a great sense of how Safeguard behaves. Once you understand the workflow, then you can scale up to the 120 billion model. Oh, and yes, both versions are open weight. That means you can actually download them, modify them, and deploy them wherever you want, even on your own infrastructure, under the Apache 2.0 license. In simple terms, it's free to use, including for commercial purposes, as long as you give proper credit. Now that you know what it is and why it's special, let's talk about why OpenAI built it in the first place. Because trust me, there is a very logical reason behind this whole idea. Because honestly, this model wasn't made for just show, it was made to solve a very real and ongoing problem in the AI world. The problem of rigid and outdated moderation systems. See, traditional moderation tools are kind of stuck in time. They're trained one on a huge dataset and that's it. If your company updates its policy or adds new rules, you have to retrain the entire model, which takes weeks, sometimes even months. And let's be honest, the internet changes way faster than that. New types of harmful content, new slang, new ways of hiding toxic messages. It's an endless loop, right? That's exactly where GPT-OSS-Safeguard comes in. Instead of being locked to one fixed policy, it's dynamic. You can literally change the rules on the fly. You update your policy, feed it to the model, and boom, it starts reasoning according to your new rules instantly. No retraining, no downtime, no delay. That's a massive advantage for trust and safety teams and AI developers. They are always under pressure to adapt quickly, whether it's a new regulation, community guideline, or sensitive content update. This model can adjust in seconds. Now, the second reason OpenAI built this is about transparency. OpenAI knows that one of the biggest criticism of AI moderation is that it's a black box. You don't know why something got flagged. You just see the result. But GPT-OSS-Safeguard fixes that with something called reasoning trace or chain of thought visibility. That means every time it makes the decision, it also explains why. You can literally read its thought process step by step. So if it flags a message, you will know exactly which part of your policy it matched and why it decided that way. And that's not just cool, it's crucial. Because when you are moderating at scale, especially on social platforms or public facing apps, you need auditability. You need proof of why a certain piece of content was blocked or approved, right? And this model gives you that transparency right out of the box. Also, this whole release is part of OpenAI's bigger GPT-OSS initiative, their open weight model series. So in short, OpenAI built GPT-OSS-Safeguard to do three things. Number one is make moderation systems more flexible. Number two is make decisions more transparent. And number three is give developers real control over how AI safety is handled. Alright, now that you know why this model exists, let's dig into the fun part, how it actually works under the hood. Because once you understand that, you will see how advanced this thing really is. Well, think of it like this. GPT-OSS-Safeguard is basically a reasoning engine that takes two things as input. Number one is your policy document. This is basically your rule book. It includes what kind of content is allowed, what's not, what counts as harassment, hate, spam, violence, whatever guidelines you want it to follow. And second is the content you want to check. It could be a message, a comment, a post, or even a paragraph from a document. Once you give it both these inputs, the model literally reads through them like a human moderator would. So it understands your rule first, word by word, line by line. Then it looks at the content and starts thinking, okay, does this sentence break any of the rules mentioned above? And it doesn't just match keyword, it reasons through the logic. That's called chain of thought reasoning. It's like an internal thought process where the model goes. Like Rule 3 says hate speech includes attacking a group. This message talks negatively about a group. So yes, it violates Rule 3. That's the level of depth it brings. So it's not just detecting patterns, it's literally analyzing the meaning and the intent. Now, after all that reasoning, GPT-OSS-Safeguard gives you two outputs. Number one is a decision like violates or does not violate, and the second one is a reasoning trace, which is basically its explanation of why it made that call. So if you are a developer or even part of a trust and safety team, this reasoning trace is gold. You can literally audit every decision it makes. You can see which rule it referred to and why it thought something broke that rule. And here is something cool. You can actually control how deeply it reasons. There is a setting for reasoning effort, low, medium or high. If you are just doing quick checks on tons of messages, go for low. If you are doing serious moderation on sensitive content, set it to high. It will take a bit longer, but it will think more carefully and give more detailed reasoning. Now, here is where it gets even better. It can output results in structured JSON format. That means, if you are building a content moderation pipeline, it's super easy to plug this model in. It will give clean, machine-readable data like this. Perfect for automation, dashboards, or audit logs. And the best part, since it's an open-weight model, you are not tied to OpenAI's API. You can run it locally on your own servers for privacy or deploy it in the cloud for scalability. No dependency, no external data sharing, you have full control. So to sum it up, here is how it works. You feed it your rules, you feed it the content, it reasons step by step, gives a decision, and explains why. Simple logic but extremely powerful in practice. Alright, now let's be real for a minute. As powerful as GPT-OSS-Safeguard sounds, it's not perfect. And I think that's really important to understand. Because when you are working with AI, especially reasoning models, you have got to know where the limitations are. So first, yes, it does make mistakes. Especially when it's working with low resource languages, meaning languages that don't have a ton of training data available. For example, English moderation might be super accurate, but when you move to something like Nepali or with certain dialects of Hindi, accuracy can drop. Why? Because the model might not fully understand cultural nuances, local slang, or tone in those languages. So if you're using it for global moderation, a good tip is always test it with sample data from your target language before deploying. That helps you spot weak points early. Second, it's heavier on computation. Unlike traditional classifiers that just do quick keyword checks, GPT-OSS-Safeguard actually reasons through content, step by step. That means it needs more processing power, more GPU time, and naturally it's slower. Now, it's not painfully slow, but if you're moderating millions of messages in real time, you will definitely want to optimize your setup. Third, and this one is important because it's open weight, it's also open to misuse. Anyone can download it, fine tune it, or modify it. That's great for research and innovation, but it also means people could theoretically twist it to ignore certain safety rules or make it biased. That's why OpenAI released it under an Apache 2.0 license, but with a clear guidance. Use it responsibly. So, if you're experimenting with it, just make sure you're fine-tuning data and use case aligned with ethical AI practices. So that's GPT-OSS-Safeguard. So I want to know what you think. Should all open source models come with built-in safety reasoning like this, or should developers have full freedom to handle moderation on their own? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to see where you stand on this one. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like this video, share it with your tech friends, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this. Because I'm telling you, the next few months are going to be wild in the AI space, and I will be here breaking down every big release one by one in simple logical terms so you actually get it. I will see you in the next one.